The most difficult person to control is not the loudest person in the room. It is the calmest. Insult them, and they do not rush to defend an image. Ours them, and they do not chase for reassurance. Provoke them, and they do not hand you their behavior. Praise them, and they do not become addicted to your approval. They still feel anger, disappointment, attraction, fear, and pain. But those emotions no longer make every decision. That is what it means to become emotionally untouchable. Not cold, not indifferent, not impossible to hurt. Emotionally untouchable means another person can affect your circumstances without automatically governing your inner direction. Their words may reach your ears, but they do not immediately become your identity. Their behavior may require a boundary, but it does not decide your character. Their rejection may create pain, but it does not force you to abandon yourself. Most people give away this power without noticing. One message changes the entire morning. One careless comment becomes a 3-day argument inside the mind. One person withdraws attention, and suddenly self-worth enters a negotiation. Someone behaves badly, and you punish yourself by replaying it all night. The person may have left the room, but your attention continues working for them. The Stoics understood this form of captivity. Epictetus began his practical teaching with a distinction. Some things depend on us, and others do not. Our judgments, intentions, and chosen actions belong closer to our responsibility. Other people's opinions, behavior, and many external outcomes do not. This does not mean external events are unimportant. Loss matters, betrayal matters, injustice matters. The Stoics did not live in a world without danger or grief. Their question was more demanding. When the world acts upon you, what will you become in response? Will insult turn you cruel? Will rejection turn you desperate? Will praise turn you dependent? Will uncertainty turn you passive? Will another person's lack of discipline destroy your own? You cannot prevent every emotional wound, but you can stop building a permanent home inside every temporary feeling. In this video, you will learn 10 Stoic rules for becoming emotionally untouchable. Each rule is practical. You will learn how to pause before reacting, separate events from interpretations, stop expecting people to follow your script, build self-respect without approval, answer insults intelligently, establish boundaries without rage, accept what you cannot control, train through discomfort, measure yourself by character, and decide your response before pressure arrives. Do not use these rules to suppress emotion. Suppressed pain does not become wisdom merely because nobody can see it. If you need to grieve, grieve. If you need support, ask. If behavior is abusive or dangerous, protect yourself and seek appropriate help. Stoicism is not a command to tolerate harm with a straight face. It is training in clear judgment so that even protection is chosen wisely rather than driven blindly. And stay until the 10th rule. The final rule turns every other principle into a form of preparation. Emotional control is hardest to invent in the moment of pressure. It becomes more reliable when the response was chosen before the test arrived. The goal is not to feel nothing. The goal is to ensure that what you feel does not automatically own what you do. Let us begin where emotional freedom is most often lost. The first few seconds. Hangrombra, Rule 1. Never give anyone your first. Reaction. Your first reaction is usually an alarm, not a conclusion. A message feels dismissive. A colleague interrupts you. Someone makes a joke at your expense. A person you trust says something that lands like a betrayal. Before you understand the event, the body responds. The chest tightens, the face becomes warm, the mind begins creating answers. One part of you wants to attack. Another wants to withdraw. A third wants to explain everything until the other person confirms that you still matter. The first Stoic rule is simple. Do not give anyone that first reaction. You are allowed to feel it. You are not required to obey it. Create a gap. Take one slower breath. Relax the jaw, lower the shoulders. If possible, wait 3 seconds before speaking. If the situation is digital, do not answer immediately. Write the response in a note instead of the message box. The pause is not weakness. It is a transfer of authority from impulse to judgment. Ask 3 questions. What exactly happened? What story am I adding? What result do I want from my response? Suppose someone does not reply for several hours. The event is simple. No reply has arrived. The story may be, they are ignoring me, I have done something wrong, I am unimportant, the relationship is ending. The response created by that story may be repeated messages, accusation, withdrawal, or panic. But the story may be wrong. They may be busy, tired, uncertain, or unavailable. Even if the silence is intentional, reacting before you know what you want will rarely restore dignity. The pause protects you from responding to an interpretation as though it were a fact. In a face-to-face conflict, use a physical anchor. Feel your feet on the floor. Notice one object in the room. Count one complete breath. This returns attention from the imagined threat to the present moment. Then choose from 4 responses. Clarify. What do you mean by that? Correct. That description is not accurate. Here are the facts. Set a boundary. I will discuss the issue, but not through personal insults. Disengage. This conversation is no longer productive. I am ending it. The correct response depends on the situation. The pause makes the options visible. A person trying to provoke you expects speed. Their power depends on moving directly from their behavior into yours. When you pause, the chain breaks. Do not turn the pause into a performance of superiority. A cold stare designed to intimidate is still reaction. The purpose is not to make them uncomfortable. It is to prevent them from selecting the version of you that answers. Practice this rule during small frustrations, slow traffic, a delayed order, a critical email, an interruption. Each small pause prepares the nervous system for a larger test. Use one sentence internally. This feeling is real, but it is not an instruction. Emotionally untouchable people are not people who never react inside. They are people who refuse to let the first reaction become the final action. Hanvangarul. Rude 2. Separate. The event from the meaning. You give it. The second rule goes deeper than the pause. Separate what happened from what you decided it means. Events enter the mind quickly. Judgment follows so closely that the two appear identical. A person criticizes your work, and you experience, I am incompetent. A friend cancels a plan, and you experience, nobody values my time. Someone succeeds, and you experience, I am falling behind. A relationship ends, and you experience, I will always be alone. The event may be painful, but the total meaning was added. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not simply by things, but by the judgments they form about them. This is not a claim that suffering is imaginary. It is an invitation to examine the layer where interpretation amplifies pain. Use a 2-line exercise. Line 1. The observable event is. Line 2. The meaning my mind is creating is. For example, the observable event is that my proposal was rejected. The meaning my mind is creating is that I have no talent and should stop trying. Now challenge the meaning. Is it the only explanation? What evidence supports it? What evidence does not? What useful action remains? A rejected proposal may indicate a weak idea, poor timing, limited resources, unclear communication, or a preference unrelated to your worth. The event contains information. The global judgment contains despair. Take the information. Reject the unnecessary sentence. This rule also protects you from flattery. Someone praises you, and the mind may create, "I am finally worthy." That meaning feels pleasant, but it makes worth dependent on continued approval. Tomorrow, criticism can remove what praise appeared to give. Receive praise as information or encouragement, not as proof of existence. Say, "I am glad the work helped," rather than building your identity around applause. Similarly, criticism is not automatically destruction. Ask whether it is specific, informed, and useful. If it reveals a weakness, improve. If it is vague hostility, let it remain with the speaker. The emotionally untouchable person does not reject all meaning. They choose meaning carefully. They can say, "This hurts, but it does not define my future. I failed at this attempt, not at being a human being. They misunderstood me, but misunderstanding is not proof of guilt. I feel excluded, but I will not turn one room into a judgment on my entire life." Be cautious not to use this rule to deny facts. If someone consistently behaves disrespectfully, do not explain it away as your interpretation. Separate the event, identify the pattern, and act. Stoic clarity is neither catastrophizing nor pretending. It sees what happened without adding an empire of unnecessary suffering around it. The event is one thing, your judgment is another. Freedom begins when you can see the space between them. Handelmoller. Rude 3. Stop expecting people to follow your private script. Much emotional suffering comes from a script nobody else agreed to perform. They should know what you need without being told. They should respond the way you would respond. They should appreciate your effort. They should apologize quickly. They should understand your intentions. They should be loyal because you were loyal. These expectations may express reasonable values. The problem begins when preference becomes a demand that reality must satisfy before you can remain stable. The third Stoic rule is to stop expecting people to follow your private script. This does not mean lowering every standard. Choose relationships based on behavior. Communicate needs. Require respect. Leave repeated dishonesty. Hold people accountable where responsibility exists. But stop being shocked that imperfect people behave imperfectly. Marcus Aurelius prepared himself in the morning to meet people who could be ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and difficult. He was not giving them permission. He was removing surprise. Surprise intensifies emotion. You tell yourself, "I cannot believe they did this." But perhaps they have done it 6 times. At some point, continued surprise becomes refusal to use evidence. Look at patterns. If someone repeatedly arrives late, do not build plans that require their punctuality without a safeguard. If someone shares private information, stop giving them new private information. If a colleague avoids responsibility, document agreements clearly. If a person apologizes beautifully but never changes, let behavior carry more weight than language. This is not cynicism. Cynicism assumes everyone will fail. Stoic preparation assumes anyone can fail and chooses a wise response. Replace expectation with communication and observation. Instead of, "They should know," say what you need. Instead of, "They promised," observe what they repeatedly do. Instead of, "They would never." Remember that character is revealed under pressure. You can love someone without assuming they will always understand you. You can trust someone while recognizing that trust should respond to evidence. You can hope for good behavior without making peace dependent on it. Practice this sentence. I prefer that they act well. I am prepared to act wisely if they do not. That is emotional independence. Free remains. Control is released. Response is prepared. Also examine the script you impose on strangers. Traffic should move smoothly. The queue should be fast. The internet should never fail. People online should be reasonable. The day should unfold according to your plan. Every should creates an opportunity for anger when reality does not cooperate. Chant the sentence. This may happen. What will I do if it does? Emotionally untouchable people do not demand a world without difficult behavior. They build standards, boundaries, and responses strong enough to function in the world that exists. Expect less mind reading, communicate more clearly. Observe patterns, prepare your response. Then another person's failure to follow your script becomes information, not the collapse of your entire emotional state. Hanvramalo. Rude 4. Never build self-worth on borrowed approval. Feels like security. Someone praises you, replies quickly, includes you, chooses you, or publicly recognizes your work. For a moment, uncertainty disappears. Then the approval changes, they become busy. The audience moves on. A new person receives attention. One critical comment replaces 10 compliments in your memory. What felt like confidence collapses because it was borrowed. The fourth rule is to stop building self-worth on approval you do not control. This does not mean praise should feel meaningless. Enjoy it. Thank the person. Learn what your work did well, but do not ask praise to perform a job it cannot perform. Establishing permanent worth. Approval exists in another person's mind. Their mind changes with mood, interest, information, incentives, and time. If your identity lives there, you must constantly manage their perception. You begin performing. You say yes when you mean no. You soften every opinion. You over-explain boundaries. You hide unfinished work because beginners receive less admiration. You remain in relationships where approval is given and withdrawn as a form of control. The alternative is not blind self-esteem. It is earned self-respect. Self-respect grows from private evidence. Did you keep your word when nobody watched? Did you act honestly when lying was easier? Did you complete the work without immediate recognition? Did you apologize without protecting your image? Did you maintain a boundary even when someone disapproved? These actions create a foundation that applause cannot give and criticism cannot instantly remove. Document a private scorecard. At the end of the day, ask, was I honest? Was I courageous where courage was required? Did I fulfill my responsibilities? Did I treat people justly? Did I use my attention deliberately? This scorecard is not permission to ignore how your actions affect others. Relational feedback matters. If several trustworthy people identify the same harmful behavior, examine it seriously. The point is not, only my opinion matters. The point is, no single opinion has absolute authority over my identity. Learn to disappoint people responsibly. Someone may dislike your boundary. A family member may prefer a different career. A friend may be upset that you are no longer available at every hour. Their disappointment is information. Listen. Consider your duties. Correct yourself if necessary. But do not assume every disappointed person has discovered a moral failure. Use one question. If nobody applauded this decision, would it still be honest, responsible, and worth doing? If yes, continue. When approval is pleasant but unnecessary, relationships become cleaner. You stop giving in order to purchase affection. You stop agreeing to prevent abandonment. You can care without performing. Borrowed confidence must be returned whenever the lender changes their mind. Build something that belongs to your conduct. Hanvularum. Rude 5. Treat insults as information, not commands. An insult tries to do more than describe you. It tries to direct you. It tries to make you defend, attack, shrink, prove, or perform. The fifth Stoic rule is to treat insults as information, not commands. When someone insults you, ask 4 questions. Is it true? Is it partly true? Is it false but harmful enough to correct? Or is it noise seeking a reaction? If it is true, the insult may have arrived badly, but truth remains useful. Suppose someone says, "You never listen." The word never may be unfair, but perhaps you interrupted repeatedly. You can reject the exaggeration and accept the lesson. Say, "The way you said that was disrespectful, but I did interrupt you, and I will correct that." This response surprises people because your ego is not controlling the exchange. If the insult is false but creates real consequences, correct it with facts. At the meeting, I submitted the report at 3 p.m. The timestamp confirms it. Do not add 10 paragraphs defending your entire character. Correct what matters. If the insult is meaningless provocation, silence or disengagement may be the strongest answer. Not every thrown object deserves to be caught. You can ask, "What do you mean by that?" Vague disrespect often weakens when forced to become specific. You can ask, "What outcome are you hoping for from this conversation?" This exposes whether the person wants resolution or reaction. You can say, "I will discuss the issue, but not through personal attacks." Then enforce the boundary if the behavior continues. Do not romanticize silence. Silence can be wisdom, fear, punishment, or strategy. Its value depends on purpose. If remaining silent allows repeated harassment, threats, discrimination, or abuse, take protective action. Document incidents. Use appropriate organizational, legal, or safety resources. Emotional control includes responding effectively to danger. Stoicism does not require becoming an easy target. The key is to stop treating every insult as an order to prove yourself. Imagine someone calls you incompetent. If you know your work is strong, the label does not change it. If your work is weak, outrage does not improve it. In both cases, the useful response is determined by evidence, not injury. Ask yourself, what action protects truth, dignity, and my responsibilities? Sometimes the answer is correction, sometimes improvement, sometimes a boundary, sometimes departure. The insult is an event. Your response remains a choice. Emotionally untouchable people do not win every argument. They refuse to let every argument decide who they become. Hanvularum. Rude 6. Set boundaries without anger or over-explaining. Many people tolerate disrespect until resentment becomes unbearable. Then they explode. Because the boundary arrived through rage, others focus on the explosion instead of the behavior that caused it. The sixth rule is to set boundaries earlier, more clearly, and with less explanation. A request describes what you would prefer. A boundary describes what you will do if a behavior continues. "Please do not shout at me" is a request. If the shouting continues, "I will end the conversation and return when we can speak calmly" is a boundary. The distinction matters because you do not control whether the other person changes. You control your participation and access. A useful boundary has 3 parts. Name the behavior. State the standard. Describe the consequence you can enforce. For example, when private information is shared with other people, I stop discussing personal matters. If it happens again, I will keep our conversations limited to practical subjects. Or, I am available to discuss the project. If personal insults continue, I will end the meeting and document the issue. Notice what is missing. No diagnosis of the other person. no speech proving your worth, no threat designed only to frighten them, no consequence outside your control. Over-explaining often reveals that the boundary is secretly an application for approval. You list every reason, hoping the other person will declare the limit reasonable. A respectful person may appreciate context. A manipulative person uses each reason as a new place to argue. You say you are tired. They tell you everyone is tired. You say you need time. They explain why you have enough. You say the behavior hurts. They accuse you of being sensitive. Soon you are debating whether you are allowed to protect your own time. Use a shorter sentence. I understand you disagree. My decision remains the same. We see this differently. I am not continuing the discussion tonight. I will respond only to messages about the schedule. Then follow through. A boundary repeatedly announced but never enforced becomes a suggestion. Do not use boundaries as punishment. Do what I want or I will make you suffer is control, not self-protection. A legitimate boundary protects your safety, time, privacy, dignity, or responsibilities while recognizing the other person's autonomy. Expect resistance. People who benefited from your lack of limits may call your limit selfish. Their discomfort does not automatically make the boundary wrong. Listen once. Check whether the consequence is proportionate. Correct it if necessary. Then act consistently. Anger may help you notice that a line was crossed. It does not have to deliver the message. The calmer your boundary, the clearer the responsibility. You are not asking them to approve your self-respect. You are informing them how access to you works. Handvollmuller. Rule 7. Accept what you cannot control. Without becoming passive acceptance is one of the most misunderstood Stoic ideas. Some people hear, accept what you cannot control, and imagine doing nothing while life causes harm. But acceptance and passivity are not the same. Acceptance recognizes the present facts. Passivity abandons available action. The seventh rule is to accept reality quickly enough that you can respond to it effectively. Suppose a relationship has ended. Acceptance says, this person has chosen to leave. I cannot force love, trust, or return. Passivity says, there is nothing I can do with my life now. Wise action says, I will grieve, seek support, examine my part, protect necessary boundaries, and rebuild. Suppose you lose a job. Acceptance says, the position is gone. Denial spends weeks arguing internally with the fact. Passivity gives up. Action updates the resume, contacts people, learns what can be learned, controls expenses, and applies again. You cannot work with reality while demanding that it become the past you preferred. Use the sentence. This is what is happening. What remains mine to do? The first half prevents denial. The second prevents helplessness. Acceptance also applies to other people. You may need to accept that someone will not apologize, that a parent may never offer the validation you wanted, that a colleague may remain difficult, that a friend has changed. Acceptance does not mean continued access. Sometimes the action made possible by acceptance is distance. You stop waiting for the imaginary version of the person and respond to the pattern that exists. This can be painful because hope often survives longer than evidence. But false hope can become emotional dependence when it postpones every necessary choice. Ask, what fact am I refusing because I dislike its implications? What action becomes possible when I stop arguing with that fact? The Stoics called external conditions indifference in relation to virtue. Not because health, relationships, and security were emotionally meaningless, but because possessing them did not automatically make a person good, and losing them did not remove the possibility of good character. You may prefer health and work to illness and loss, of course. But even under unwanted conditions, choices remain. Acceptance protects energy. Every hour spent demanding that reality be different is an hour unavailable for responding to reality as it is. Do not confuse peace with approval. You can say, "I hate that this happened, and I accept that it happened." That sentence is mature enough to contain both pain and truth. Emotionally untouchable people are not untouched by loss. They are unwilling to add endless resistance to pain that already exists. They feel, they accept. Then they ask what remains possible. Han Valkromor, Rude 8. Use discomfort as emotional training. Emotional fragility grows when every discomfort becomes an emergency. Boredom must be escaped. Silence must be filled. Criticism must be answered. Uncertainty must be solved immediately. A craving must be satisfied. The 8th rule is to practice small, safe discomfort voluntarily, so involuntary discomfort loses some of its authority. The Stoics sometimes practiced simplicity and temporary deprivation to examine their dependence on comfort. The goal was not suffering for its own sake. It was flexibility. Choose practices appropriate to your health and responsibilities. Take a short walk without headphones. Sit for 10 minutes without checking the phone. Delay entertainment until one important duty is complete. Eat a simple meal occasionally. Allow a harmless message to remain unanswered until you can respond thoughtfully. Speak an honest opinion in a situation where mild disapproval is possible. Finish a shower with a brief period of cooler water only if safe for you. The practice should be challenging enough to reveal impulse, not dangerous enough to require rescue. During the discomfort, listen to the mind. I cannot tolerate this. I need relief now. Something is wrong because this feels unpleasant. Replace exaggeration with description. This is uncomfortable, temporary, and chosen. That sentence trains emotional accuracy. You begin discovering that urge is not obligation. Boredom is not damage. Awkwardness is not disaster. Uncertainty is not proof that the worst outcome is coming. This transfers into relationships and work. You can tolerate the discomfort of not defending yourself immediately. You can let someone be disappointed while you consider whether the boundary is right. You can begin a task while feeling unmotivated. You can receive feedback without escaping into excuses. Do not turn voluntary discomfort into a public identity. If you need everyone to admire your cold shower, fasting, or extreme schedule, approval has simply found a new costume. Keep much of the training private. Also avoid using discomfort to punish yourself. If you are sick, exhausted, injured, or struggling with compulsive behavior, choose appropriately and seek qualified guidance where necessary. Stoic discipline is governed by wisdom and temperance. More pain is not automatically more virtue. The purpose is simple. Prove that you can carry a manageable, unpleasant feeling without surrendering your chosen direction. Each repetition tells the nervous system, I do not need perfect conditions to act well. When real discomfort arrives, and it will, you are not meeting the experience for the first time. You have practiced remaining present while preference was denied. Han Valkromor, Rule 9. Measure yourself by character. Not outcomes. Outcomes matter, but they are unstable judges of character. You can prepare well and still lose. You can act carelessly and still succeed. You can tell the truth and be disliked. You can manipulate people and receive applause. If outcome alone becomes your measure, luck will decide how you see yourself. The 9th Stoic rule is to measure yourself primarily by the quality of your choices under the conditions you were given. After an important event, do not ask only, "Did I win?" Ask, "Did I prepare honestly? Did I act courageously? Did I remain fair under pressure? Did I correct what was within my responsibility? Did I use the result as information?" This is not an excuse for ignoring performance. If your strategy repeatedly fails, change it. If the business loses money, numbers matter. If the audience leaves early, retention matters. If your behavior hurts someone, impact matters. Stoicism is not protection from evidence. The distinction is between using outcomes to improve action and using outcomes to declare total worth. Suppose you apply for a position and are rejected. Evaluate the resume, preparation, communication, and fit. Ask for feedback. Improve what you can. But do not transform one decision made by other people into a complete judgment on your potential. Suppose a video performs poorly. Examine the topic, title, thumbnail, opening, pacing, and audience match. Learn, do not call yourself a failure, and stop producing the evidence needed to improve. Character-based measurement creates resilience because success becomes repeatable action, not only a favorable result. You can respect a day in which the outcome disappointed you if you acted according to your standard. You can also question a day in which the outcome rewarded you if your conduct was dishonest. This protects you from praise as much as criticism. Winning does not excuse arrogance. Losing does not require humiliation. At night, use a 4-part scorecard. Wisdom, did I see the situation accurately? Courage, did I do what was necessary despite discomfort? Justice, did I respect other people and my responsibilities? Temperance, did I govern impulse and excess? Do not expect perfect scores. Identify one correction. The emotionally untouchable person is not protected by believing they are always excellent. They are protected by knowing exactly what standard matters and being willing to return to it after failure. Your reputation is a report written by other minds. Your outcome is shaped partly by conditions. Your character is the pattern of choices you continue building. Invest your deepest identity there. Handglamorum. Rule 10. Choose your response before the test arriveth. Final rule is preparation. Do not wait until anger, rejection, fear, or humiliation arrives to invent your principles. Choose your response before the test. The Stoics used premeditation of adversity, imagining likely difficulties so the mind could meet them with less surprise. This is not worrying about every disaster. Worry repeats a threat. Preparation selects an action. Each morning, identify one likely emotional test. A difficult colleague may challenge you. A person may not reply. A meeting may reject your idea. Traffic may delay you. A family member may question your decision. The work may become frustrating. Then create an if-then response. If they criticize me, I will ask for one specific example before defending myself. If the reply does not arrive, I will not send another message for reassurance. I will continue with my responsibilities. If the meeting rejects the idea, I will record the reasons and decide what to improve. If anger rises, I will lower my voice and take one full breath. If the conversation becomes insulting, I will state the boundary once and leave if it continues. The response becomes available because it was rehearsed while the mind was calm. Also, prepare for praise. If the work succeeds, I will appreciate the result without abandoning the habits that produced it. If people admire me, I will remember that approval is pleasant but temporary. Emotional control includes remaining stable under favorable events. Pride can remove discipline as quickly as discouragement. At night, review the test. What happened? What did you feel? What did you do? What response would better express your values next time? This creates a training loop. Prepare, act, review, adjust. Do not expect rehearsal to eliminate emotion. You may still feel the insult. Your voice may shake. You may need time to recover. Success means your conduct moved closer to the chosen standard. Prepare one anchor phrase. My response is my responsibility. Their behavior does not choose my character. Pause, clarify, then act. Discomfort is present. Wisdom is still possible. Use language that feels natural, not theatrical. The final form of emotional freedom is not spontaneous invulnerability. It is trained availability of better choices. You become difficult to manipulate because the common levers stop working automatically. Insult no longer guarantees rage. Silence no longer guarantees pursuit. Praise no longer guarantees dependence. Uncertainty no longer guarantees paralysis. The world can still press the button, but the button is no longer directly connected to your behavior. You placed judgment in between. That is what preparation builds. Conclusion. Feel everything. Surrender. Nothing emotionally untouchable does not mean untouched by life. You will still care. You will still become disappointed. Some words will hurt before wisdom has time to speak. Some losses will change you permanently. Some nights will remain difficult even after every principle has been remembered. Stoicism does not make you stone. It teaches you that pain and self-abandonment are not the same thing. You can feel grief without declaring life meaningless. You can feel anger without becoming cruel. You can experience rejection without begging for borrowed worth. You can face uncertainty without inventing disaster. You can care deeply without handing another person complete authority over your mind. Remember the 10 rules. First, never give anyone your first reaction. Feel the alarm, create the gap, and let judgment answer. Second, separate the event from the meaning you give it. Take the information without adding a total sentence about your identity or future. Third, stop expecting people to follow your private script. Communicate clearly, observe patterns, and prepare for imperfect behavior. Fourth, never build self-worth on borrowed approval. Let private integrity become a foundation that praise cannot give and criticism cannot instantly remove. Fifth, treat insults as information, not commands. Accept what is true, correct what matters, and refuse meaningless provocation. Sixth, set boundaries without anger or over-explaining. Name the behavior, state the standard, and enforce a consequence within your control. Seventh, accept what you cannot control without becoming passive. Recognize the fact, then ask what remains yours to do. Eighth, use small and safe discomfort as emotional training. Prove that an unpleasant feeling can exist without becoming an order. Ninth, measure yourself by character, not outcomes alone. Learn from results while placing identity in the quality of your conduct. 10th, choose your response before the test arrives. Prepare, act, review, and adjust. Now turn these ideas into practice. For the next 7 days, choose one likely emotional trigger each morning. Write the trigger, write your usual reaction, then write the response you want to practice. For example, trigger, being interrupted, usual reaction, speaking faster and becoming aggressive. Chosen response, pause, let them finish, then say, I would like to complete the point. At night, review what happened without attacking yourself. Did the trigger appear? Did you remember the response? Where did emotion take control? What will you change tomorrow? This is how emotional freedom is built. Not through one powerful video, one quotation, or one declaration, but through repetitions made under ordinary pressure. Do not announce that nothing affects you. That sentence often hides fear of being seen. Let your conduct speak. When insult arrives, remain precise. When praise arrives, remain grounded. When loss arrives, grieve honestly. When action is required, act. When nothing useful remains, release. And remember this distinction. You are not responsible for preventing every emotion. You are responsible for what you repeatedly allow emotion to make you do. If anger reveals a violated boundary, use the information. If anxiety reveals uncertainty, identify the controllable action. If sadness reveals loss, give it time and support. If shame reveals wrongdoing, repair what can be repaired. Emotion becomes less dangerous when it is listened to without being worshipped. There may be people who benefited from your reactivity. They knew which silence would make you chase, which insult would make you prove yourself, which compliment would make you surrender a boundary. When those methods stop working, they may accuse you of changing. They will be correct. You changed the location of authority. You brought it back from their behavior to your judgment. That does not make you better than them. It makes you more responsible for yourself. If you are accepting the 7-day practice, write this in the comments. My response belongs to me. Subscribe for more practical Stoic lessons about emotional control, discipline, self-respect, and inner peace. The next test may arrive today. A message, a delay, a criticism, a silence, a disappointment. You may not control its arrival, but between the event and your action, there is a space. Protect that space. Train inside it. That is where emotional freedom begins.